Is Amazon KDP the worst publishing company on the market, or a waste of time? And what's the deal with all the fraudulent companies bearing the Amazon KDP name? Let's discuss all that and more as I deep dive back into the world of Trustpilot reviews. Find out about the good and the bad surrounding Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing according to a few jaded authors and account holders. Possible to contact them. You can't even close down their account. I've published my book on other platform, but I was denied by Amazon even from that platform, probably because I am from Israel. But hey, I can't use PayPal there, and they don't work with Israeli banks. KDP does not give you answers or any other way to contact them. There actually is a way to contact them, and I've said this 1,000,000 times if I've said it once. It is down at the very bottom of your KDP dashboard. There is Contact Us. Left click on that one. The process is a little bit different. They've changed it over the past year, and it takes a little bit of time to kind of get through it. But if you just get through each one of those pieces of questions, it'll eventually lead you to support for live chat, phone support, and email support. And of course, they offer community as well, but I would recommend anytime you have the opportunity, get them on the phone or the live chat support. Now, those times that they have them available vary per region, and in some regions it's not accessible. If that's the case, you're stuck with email support. Email support's fine, but don't be surprised. You're going to probably get a copy and paste answer. So as far as shutting your account down, I mean, it's very simple. You just ask and they will probably delete it for you with no issues, no fuss, no muss. Now, as far as PayPal goes and an Israeli bank, what I would recommend is, since that is out of the region that KDP is able to pay out, use a company called Payoneer. It's essentially, it functions like a bank account, and it'll attach to your Israeli bank account, and then you should be able to get payment. Will you get some fees removed? Yes. It's not the ideal scenario, obviously, but you got to work with what you have. Or in some instances, it looks like you've already moved on to another platform that maybe you're a little bit more comfortable with. There are so many alternatives out there to Amazon KDP, including places like Drafted Digital, Ingram Spark, Publish Drive, StreetLib, Bookrix, the list goes on. If you're not happy with the company, definitely move on. But as far as contacting them, it's super simple. Like, seriously, if it was a snake, it would have bit you on the face. It's the worst publishing company on the market. Their review system doesn't work, and the customer service representatives act as messengers. Books are rejected randomly without explanation or substantiation for rejection, and nobody knows anything. They are totally incapable of handling a case or finding a solution. Now, they are also into judging the design and using it as a lame excuse to reject books that otherwise meet all technical requirements. Complaining doesn't help, even when official complaints are sent to HQ. If possible, stay away from them, as dealing with them will bring you into a perpetual cycle of stress with no issues being resolved. They only care about customers that buy and get them money. Those who sell are treated poorly simply because Amazon holds the power and doesn't care. That's a very, very powerful review right there. It literally, like, I'm sure we could probably nitpick on this one as far as grammar goes, but I didn't really find anything outwardly wrong on this, as some of these reviews have in the past. And it seems like they're very upset about getting their books rejected. There is a possibility that if you get your books blocked or rejected in some capacity on KDP, they're going to have the answer. And as per usual, if you don't know why they did it, it's important, first of all, to respond to the email in which they told you that a book has been blocked. Or you can scroll down to the very bottom of your dashboard, hit Contact Us, and go through all of the different questions to get yourself into live support or into the phone support, so that way you have a clearer understanding of why you got your book blocked. A number of years ago, when I was publishing a lot of content, I was hiring ghostwriters, I had to build out a whole self-publishing imprint. I had a book that had a very racy cover on it, and there was implied nudity on it, and that is a no-go. Like, they don't want that at all. Even though there was nothing showing, there was that implication there, and they blocked that book like that. Soon as I had changed that cover out, and I uploaded the same manuscript, no issues whatsoever. They didn't block that book. It went right on through. So that is going to be the thing, is understanding why you got blocked and communicating with them. And in instances of account terminations or suspensions, sometimes it can be very frustrating because you do lose that ability of contact us inside the KDP dashboard. Because in order to actually get into contact us, you got to be logged in. But you can't log in if you had your account terminated. And so it's the only recourse that you have is responding by email. And this is another instance that I say that go wide. Diversify. There's too many people that feel beholden to the almighty Amazon. Yes, they are 100% customer centered. They want to make sure those customers are super happy because why? It helps pays the bills. Now, as far as them treating sellers in a bad capacity, I think that's going to vary from one person to the next. I find by and large a lot of people out there, whether sellers of FBA or through KDP, they're pretty happy. Now, I know there's probably going to be someone who's going to inevitably say, I'm not happy. That's not what they did for me. That's cool. That is your experience. But I found by and large, a lot of people have a very positive experience on Amazon KDP. I would say the only thing I would take away from this particular review would be why? Why were you blocked? Why was this book rejected? Did you share with this? It says without explanation or substantiation, give us like an idea of what you think might have been the issue. Like give us an idea. And tell us like, hey, this is what I had, and this is why I don't think it should have been blocked or rejected. But that's getting nitpicky. I think that this right here, great review, 1 star. Whew, that's brutal. Fake publishing companies, fraud alert. I was told that in order to publish my book, I needed to provide my Amazon password. This is when I realized I was dealing with scammers or a shady company and not Amazon. So I refused to give them my password, and after researching the website, I realized the following. They have in tiny letters that they are using logos on their website, but they do not have any affiliation to any of those. They have pictures on their website that give the impression of having great ratings, of being recommended by Forbes, Business Insider, and such, and all are fake. Then I saw many other similar websites that clearly belong to the same criminals to get people no matter what Google search they do, such as AmazonSelfPublishingHouse.com, KDPDirectPublishers.com, RooseveltPublishers.com, AmazonPublishingDirect.com, to name a few. If you look at the About, you will read the same verbiage, and their address is a mailing place. Yes. Okay, I've covered this many times in Trustpilot before, and this is one of the reasons why you can't just look at Trustpilot's, reviews and say, "Oh yeah, gosh, KDP Amazon's terrible," or "Drafted Digital's awful." You have to have some type of context. And to me, I think putting a 1 star in KDP for this, come on, man. Those are the scammers you should probably be leaving a 1 star on. So we have a bit more context and we understand. It's like, okay, it's not that there's a 1 star on Amazon KDP, but it's on the fraudsters that are roping people on in. There actually is a contact link, and I'm going to put it inside the description down below. In the event that you find anybody that's misrepresenting Amazon, they want to know. They want to know when someone's using their trademark, whether it be the image trademark or even the names. Things like KDP, things like Amazon, things like Kindle, that should not be on a business entity's name, and Amazon really takes umbrage to it. So you want to make sure you tread lightly if you are a service provider that wants to reach into the self-publishing community. And places like KDPDirectPublishers.com, come on now. What are you doing, man? So please, folks, I'm not trying to create a community of snitches or rats or anything else like that. But in instances like this, they're harming what we're doing in a big way. And if you happen to be a service provider that's using any of Amazon's trademarks, I hope that someone catches you and reports you and you get taken into court and pay the restitution on pretty much using Amazon's trademark without their approval. Imagine the audacity. I mean, geez. KDP, a waste of time. I've been with KDP for 6 months and have not received 1 dime for any of my journals, books, or calendars. I've created 138 pieces of work and just received an email that my titles were not approved for the site and that they were closes my account down. I believe whomever's going over the work is stealing the work from the customers. I've waited for compensation for 6 months and nothing. This was a scam to the highest level. Either the people who work for the company are stealing the content or the process was fraudulent. Okay, so let me see if I can get this straight. You didn't receive a single dime. Now, did you make any sales? Because you have 138 pieces of content does not mean that you're entitled to being paid anything. I'm sure you probably watched some YouTuber that was like, hey, make $10,000 a month publishing low content books. Okay, look, not everybody can do that. Okay. It's more the exception to the rule because most instances, people that come into this business fail. They fail horribly because they go into it with very high expectations and with these very basic understanding of actually having to work this business. Just because low content books seems like it has a lower barrier of entry, it still requires the same attention to detail through search engine optimization and also proper marketing, whether it's through like the marketing copy that you would be doing through the book description and so many other elements that you can't be able to put those things off to the side and just simply saying like, hey, I've uploaded this and I haven't been paid for it and they're stealing my stuff. No, they're not. They literally have millions of books on their site. They're not going to be bothered with going after some Joe Jabroni person who's deciding to go ahead and shovel 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. And that's really what it comes down to. 138 pieces of work. If you haven't made a single sale on there, then that's probably on you. And the other thing is, let's give you the benefit of the doubt that you went ahead and you did some sales, but for whatever reason, you only sold just a few. All right. There is a minimum payment threshold based on the payment type that you decide to take with them. So I think, for instance, like in order to get paid by check, you have to have a $100 threshold. But if you're doing direct deposit, then you can be able to get it at $0 or more. So just kind of as a heads up on this one. But gosh, I see based on this particular review here, this person needs to get a grammar checker and gosh, like there it seems like there's user error right here. And no, it's not because I'm a shill or I'm an industry plant for KDP. Anybody could see this. Anybody. It's clear. When my books was not making sales, my account was not terminated. I can call them scammers because they change their terms and conditions every now and then to suit their scamming vision. My experience with Amazon KDP was bad after I thought that I have found a side hustle. I invested so much on manuscripts and book covers, and to my greatest surprise about a book that I submitted for almost a year, only for KDP team to send a mail that my topic is misleading, and instead for them to delist the said book, they just terminate my account. It was so painful that before my eyes, all my little investment was flushed out by heartless KDP team. And I asked them who the book I submitted long ago, was it not KDP member that reviewed the entire book and accepted, especially one hard-hearted called Arturo. What? Wow. Another one, seriously, like Pro Writing Aid comes free. Just get a free version of it. It'll probably be able to clean up some of this because it was just one giant run-on sentence. But all that aside, let's just kind of focus on the actual context of this. Let's not focus so much on the quality of things. And yeah, they do change the terms and conditions. I don't think it's very right that they do that they change the terms and conditions without notifying all account holders. Now, how often they do that, I don't know. This is not something I police or nothing that I pay close attention to. But in a lot of instances, they will send out some things via their community tab that they have available. So for instance, I was able to find out through the KDP tab last year, I think it was, that there was a limitation of 3 book uploads per day. Now it's 3 brand new book uploads per day, not updates per se. That, I don't know, ended up getting baked into the terms and services. I think that's probably one of my biggest beefs, because you see a company like, say, for instance, Findaway Voices got into huge trouble last year when they changed their terms and conditions. Well, they call it terms of use, I think it is. But they changed theirs and they notified everybody, and everybody paid attention to the change in the terms and conditions and were all over that. Like that became just a veritable storm for Findaway Voices. But the nice thing is that this held them accountable and they were able to fix their terms of use. That way it better suited the account holders. And I think KDP could probably take a note out of their book and start to inform people about changes in terms and conditions. Now, maybe they do push out notifications and I'm not getting them, but I don't hear anybody else getting notifications about any changes to the terms and conditions. So this is definitely concerning, and I would say maybe on a yearly basis, pop into the terms and conditions and see if it has been updated. There usually is a little like tag at the very top, updated last on blah, blah, blah. It could probably be. I'm not sure if that is still available there, but last I saw, it was. So, yeah, and Arturo, man, cold-hearted Arturo must have been the person who ended up, banning this person's account. Yeah, Now, as far as subjectively going and approving the books, they don't read all your books. No, they don't. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 90% sure, 99% probably, that it's all automated, that a lot of it is based on automation. And they're looking to make sure that there is no issues with quality or any type of errors that would create a poor customer experience. Amazon's very customer centered, and if you're putting out garbage content, they don't want it. So this is where it's so important that you go through this process instead of just willy-nilly like, hey, let me throw some monies at the problem here. We're going to do some cover designers over here. We're going to do this over here. It is going to be important that you're also hiring editors, proofreaders, making sure your manuscript is fully ready to go. Also cross-checking and making sure that you're not stepping on somebody else's toes. Maybe somebody else has another title. I know some people are going to, you can't trademark a title. Yeah, actually, some people can trademark titles, and they have done that before. There was a whole controversy a few years ago surrounding the word cocky. Like someone had trademarked the word cocky. And oh my gosh, everybody lost their minds over that. Yeah, so just tread carefully on something like this. You want to always make sure that you are looking at every aspect. And this is one of the things I just recommend, that if you're active within the self-publishing community, network with other authors. Other authors in your niche would probably be ideal, but just other authors sometimes helps, because then you have a little bit of a safeguard put in place. You have a little bit of a filter of, hey, could you take a look through this manuscript, make sure it looks good? How does this cover look? How does my book description look? Do you think that there's any other books that are similar to this? Have I taken a title? You know, ask as many questions as you possibly can, so that way when you go in to publish your book through Amazon KDP, you're not running into getting your book blocked, or for that matter, getting your account terminated. To get additional clips and content from this video, consider joining my channel memberships. For more details, visit dalelinks.com/membership. While we're still discussing issues and problems plaguing the KDP platform, let's take a look at 50 problems I see with KDP and how to resolve them over here, or check out this previous video covering more 1-star reviews on Trustpilot. I'll see you in either video.